MTC. Light, 2022, P19 No gateway. Everyone automatically categorizes and generalizes all the time. Unconsciously. It is not a question of being prejudiced or enlightened. Categories are absolutely necessary for us to function. They give structure to our thoughts. Imagine if we saw every item and every scenario as truly unique, we would not even have a language to describe the world around us. But the necessary and useful instinct to generalize can distort our worldview. It can make us mistakenly group together things, or people, or countries that are actually very different. It can make us assume everything or everyone in one category is similar. And, maybe, most unfortunate of all, it can make us jump to conclusions about a whole category based on a few, or even just one, unusual example. Exercises. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Light, 2022, P19 No 01. It is a false belief to think that you are either a big picture thinker or a detail-oriented person. You cannot be a big picture thinker without knowing the supporting facts, or else you would be an empty suit. The brain power of zoom in requires attending to facts, content, and the situation at hand. Gathering facts and using them to support a novel approach is essential to enhancing integrated reasoning and deeper level thinking. However, it's a delicate balance of knowing when to gather more information and knowing when to stop looking for more facts to develop a point of view. The key is to toggle back and forth from the immense raw details to form high-level ideas. It is not enough to understand all the facts, it is highly critical to fit them into a larger schema. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Light, 2022, P19 No 02. There are a number of reasons to be concerned about language attrition. Language is a key part of each person's identity and is an essential component of a group's cultural and social heritage. Local communities who have lost their language speak about it as a deeply cultural loss which is accompanied by a loss of a sense of self. Speakers whose languages are not endangered are also aware of the importance of language as a marker of identity and pay great attention to difference in dialects and speech patterns. Thus, perhaps one of the most compelling reasons to be concerned about language endangerment is that the speakers who lost this part of their heritage deeply regret it and grieve over it. For this reason, so many different communities around the world are currently engaged in language revitalization efforts. Some of those groups whose languages are extinct are now attempting to resurrect them from whatever records have survived. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Light, 2022, P19 No 03. When individuals participate in green consumption, they are not being mindful of their actions. One of the key aspects of green consumption is the mindset that people must always search for more efficient ways to live. This leads to constant consumption and replacement of goods. This is not a mindful practice because people are not taking the time to truly understand the consequences of their actions. The example of electric cars perfectly illustrates this point. A mindful individual will understand that buying an electric car is unethical and they ought to continue to use whatever vehicle they already own until it is no longer operational, because the production cost of an electric car or hybrid vehicle makes the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions negligible. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Light, 2022, P19 No 04. Routines are beneficial because they allow us to get things done without much thought. For example, if every morning you had to relearn how to dress yourself or cook your breakfast, you'd never make it to work on time. Routines can be harmful, however, if they prevent us from developing a fresh perspective. They are most dangerous when we are least conscious of the extent to which our perception and cognition are guided by them. Sometimes our habits become so integral to our thinking that we fail to identify them as habits, and instead consider them the way things are done. Thus, we need an occasional shock to shake us out of our mental patterns. I call this shock a whack on the side of the head, and it can stimulate us to ask the questions that lead us to new answers. MTC. Good job.